Welcome to How to Money with Kole and Cole.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Cole.
We coach people every day on their money and how to plan for the future.
As financial advisors, we're here to have an honest conversation and educate you on how to money. Intentionally and passionately to hit your money goals. And we'll throw in some sports talk along the way.
Our mission and goal of this podcast is to improve your money journey and help you create the financial life you deserve.
So let's talk money.
And sports.
Welcome back to How to Money with Kole and Cole. Bailey Ashbrook here. Join the boys this time. Gonna jump in and start hosting the little podcast with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
A little more CFG team oriented. So yeah, we're excited. We're gonna have a special episode. We're gonna do questions and answers. We had clients submit questions through Facebook and in the office. So we're going to answer your money questions.
Yeah, we still have Caleb here.
Yeah,
He's still part of the podcast.
Hi, everybody.
We didn't disbar him.
Yeah.
But
I'm still here. If you're watching this on video, you can't see me, but I'm still here in the flesh. So they could get rid of me, but they couldn't really get rid of me.
Yeah.
So
So how are you guys? What's going on in your world? Excited to have me back?
I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited that the NFL football season's about to start because my Cubs suck.
Yeah,
I need something to watch.
You need a distraction. And welcome, Bailey. Someone's got to keep the Kole and Cole train on the right task. So I think be up for the job. But
Yeah. Bailey's been waking her kids up for a month to get ready for school. So believe me, she'll keep us on task here at the Kole and Cole podcast.
Yeah. Someone's got to be the glue girl. So I just do a good job with that. So we're just going to take the office life and bring it into the podcast life.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
What are you guys thinking for the NFL then?
Are you Steelers? They haven't picked a
You're
quarterback
Steelers,
yet.
No, so they had their first preseason game a few nights ago, and all three quarterbacks played really, really well. Obviously, it's preseason, so not too much. But
You got Trubisky, Pickett.
Yeah, and then
Who's the other one?
Mason Rudolph, he's been the backup there for like 5 years. So, it's my Steelers. I think we're trending in the right direction. Who knows? But you never know what the preseason converts to the regular season.
Right. And the Broncos, Russell Wilson didn't play the other night, so it was kind of like I watched the first 5 minutes. I'm like, why am I watching this? Like, no starters are playing, so it was pretty pointless.
I have this is off topic here. I have a lot of friends that are Broncos fans for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I have all my best friends or people I hang out with seem to be Broncos fans for some reason.
Yeah, that are Packers. I feel like Packers are pretty.
That's more of they're a little more local.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that
Packers, Chiefs, Vikings, Bears,
Yeah.
Broncos. That's kind of what you get here in Iowa.
Yeah, my husband will shed tears over NFL games. He's a diehard Cowboy fan. Our house is football oriented. Iowa Hawkeye football. Oh my gosh, it's our life in the fall. And speaking of, we were talking about
I know. Yeah, so we got some local. I mean, this kind of a little bit of some local news, or not so much news, but pretty cool. We got two Gowrie boys, both on scholarship now. Just in the paper over the weekend that Kyler Fisher, local kid, has been there for a few years as a walk-on and got offered a scholarship. So I had a cool story about him telling his parents and stuff being on scholarship. And then Aaron Graves, true freshman in there, is making some headlines. Ferentz saying, they'd be stupid to redshirt him. So
right.
That's
he's
something
gonna
big.
play.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
that's
a
crazy.
freak.
Yeah.
And Fisher moved to linebacker. Did you see that? Right?
And he's in the 2D. He's backup outside linebacker. So
Awesome.
could see two Gowrie boys on the field for the Hawks this
What
fall.
happened to you?
Yeah.
I know, poor me. Right.
Cole Jaskey was a peacock. I always like to say that. Upper Iowa.
They go to Iowa, play Division I against who's their first game against?
I don't even know.
It's not Iowa State, but they got a pretty good opponent the first
Yeah.
game, I think. And then you played it Upper Iowa.
Yeah, no. I know they're holding it down for the Gowrie boys.
All
So
right.
I was a Prairie Valley guy. They're Southeast Valley.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a
huge difference. Huge difference.
The conversion. So
I also think Aaron Graves is like 250 pounds, like
275.
275.
Like he's a little bigger
Yeah.
than you. I think
Yeah.
he's just he's built for that.
Yeah.
But all right, let's do it. You guys ready to jump in some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So basically, we got some simple, complex questions, a little bit of everything, but let's go with the first one.
Okay, I just have to preface this for Bailey. These will be anonymous.
Okay. Yep.
So she asked me to say it because she can't say anonymous.
Yeah, I really can't. Okay, ready? New mom here. When saving for our little one's college, do you recommend investing in a 529 plan or investing that money in other outlets?
Yeah, I mean, pretty relevant question here for all three of us have, young kids kind of planning on what we're going to do. So great first question to kick it off. And really, it just kind of depends. This is like everything that we do, at Central Financial Group. We're always goals-based, planning-based. So first it comes back to, what's the goal? Like, how much do you want to maybe help with? Mm-hmm. Maybe you start there saying, hey, we would like to pay for 50%, 25%, and then you got to go a little bit further into the weeds of, do you think they're going to go to, you kind of play a guessing game. You think they're going to go to University of Iowa, or are they going to go to, Iowa Central, or, based on cost. So that can dictate how much you need to save, what plan you go. But yeah, the biggest difference, for the state of Iowa example, if you use the state of Iowa 529, there is some tax benefits to using a 529 if they're used, appropriately. So you can get a tax deduction as a parent contributing to the individual 529, and then also, that 529 grows hopefully over 15, 20 years. Start using it for college, and those distributions come out tax free. The caveat to that, though, is sometimes if you don't have a child that goes to college, or maybe they get a job, or they want to be an entrepreneur, and they don't ever need higher education, then you have this bucket of money that's in that 529, and then there's some other issues there. So if that's the case, or you're thinking, hey, we more want to save, there are other alternatives such as custodial accounts, things that work like a traditional brokerage account that a parent can manage.
Yeah, and we say this pretty frequently. Like, it's different for everyone's different situation. Like, just for example, and I have no problem telling people what I do is I do some 529 money, but then I also do a non-qualified account where I'm investing where I don't have to use it for college education, but if I want to buy my kids a car or a graduation gift or what have you, I want to have both options.
That's exactly what I do too.
Because we have a lot of clients come in, their big fear with 529 is, what if my kid does not go to college? Because we don't know what college is going to look like in 10, 20 years. Or what if they go into the trade and I'd rather use that money for a car or something. So yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they're both great options. And then that's another benefit of sitting with an advisor to figure out which avenue is probably best for you in your situation.
This is something good for listeners. I think, just here, a lot of people don't talk about this, but 529s, individual 529s can also accept other gifts and contributions that are not just the owner or the parent that set that up. So if you want to, for example, I try to, this doesn't always happen because grandparents always love to give gifts, something they'd like to see it. Right. But, if they're constantly giving things, but they want to give more, that's a great way for Christmas. Hey, you can do a contribution to their college fund. And it can be from anyone. So that's one thing a lot of people don't know. But something I think people should think about.
Yeah, just because you're the owner of the account as the parent, you don't have to be the one that writes the check.
Yep. The grandparent can contribute.
Grandparent,
aunt, deduction.
uncle, whatever can write the check and send it in. Yep. They just won't get the tax deduction. But
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, question 2. Can you help me with my 401k? I don't understand it, and who oversees it? Cole P.
So 401k, we get asked about those pretty frequently because your employer really, they set it up, and then it's, you get the login, you get the paperwork, however they have you enroll. They don't help you necessarily fill that out or pick your investments or anything like that. So yes, we can help you with that. We can't, most of the time we can't really go in and be the advisor on the plan. Now, so we do have some 401k plans that are under us, but that's an employer's choice. So as far as not understanding it, that's pretty frequent with clients because, hey, I want to invest for my retirement, but I don't know how much to put in. I don't know what investments to pick. So we do help you set that up. Not something necessarily we can charge a fee on, but it's part of our service that we offer.
Yeah, because I feel like we do get people like they've been investing in their 401k for 5-10 years, but they've never looked at it, and they're like, "Oh, my employer's handling it," and we're like, "No. You like actually have to go in."
No.
Yep. I mean, it's an education. I mean, that's really what we do is educate because each plan, relatively the same, but they all have some different nuances. The fund lineups can be different from plan to plan based on the selection. There is their Roth options, is there after tax contributions, a lot of different things. So. That's good where a lot of times we'll just go over it with you, have you come in the office, pull, if they bring you a booklet or, you have the ability to get online, we'll just walk through the education side and we can give recommendations based on that.
I usually have people bring in their login and then we log into it and then I sometimes walk them through, like, here are your investment options, here what you're contributing, here's what your employer matches. So your employer sets it up for everybody.
Right.
Your individual account, they never look at your individual account. I can guarantee that they don't look at your personal account and try to help you with it, because that's just not, they don't have time, and they don't have the fiduciary responsibility to do that.
Correct. And then just caveat, and after that, a lot of people just set target funds in those, I think, sometimes, and they don't even know like what they're actually in. So like, I think it's so beneficial. Cole, I've seen Cole P do it a lot. I know Cole J does it, but just to go in and talk through it and educate them on, these are the funds, here's what we're looking at, Roth, all that. So it's great. So this takes us to the next question. How much of my income should go towards retirement funds and in my 401k or IRA, etc.?
Again, I always feel like I'm saying, well, there's nuances to this, right?
Broken record, right?
Yeah, broken record, but there is, right? And that's the expectation of that, you as the investor, you have to decide that of, what does retirement look like for me? How much do I need to spend? Where's that money going to come from? And then you backtrack into, okay, if I want to spend $50,000 a year for my retirement account, I need to, and I got 30 years to save. Here's how much I probably need to start saving at this point. Yeah, I mean, there, it's always, but kind of best practice. You think of best practice, make sure you're getting your employer's match first and foremost. If it's within a 401k plan, make sure you're getting, whatever that, and that's part of the education of understanding your 401k plan. Make sure you know that, so you're maximizing the contribution that doesn't need to come from you to, to increase that savings. And then, if you get to, again, there's no right or wrong answer on that. I don't think we can get there. Obviously, we try to promote save as much as you can.
Right.
It's exhaust as many buckets, whether it's your 401k bucket, you max out that portion, then you go to, okay, what's the next thing I can save into? Maybe it's a Roth IRA, maybe it's an after-tax account, or some different ideas. But that really comes down to the individual situation, and really you as the individual person setting that long-term goal and what that looks like.
Yeah, as a general amount, and we're not saying this is the amount that you everyone should invest, but 10 to 15% of your income should go into some sort of retirement plan. That's if you want to retire at normal retirement age at 60, let's just call it 65. If you want to retire at 55, then you're probably more like 20, 25, 30% of your income needs to go into retirement, a retirement account or into some sort of investment account. And you don't always have to put it into a retirement account. There are, what we've talked about several times, a non-qualified account where you can use it for whatever reason. You don't have to use it for retirement. So that's something that I have a lot of people do. If they want to retire before age 59 and a half, I have them do a non-qualified account, because then we can use that money between 55 and 59 and a half to live on, or to, do for expenses. So like we say a lot of times, is different strokes for different folks, is different amount for everybody. But in general, you should save between at least 10 to 15% of your gross income.
Yeah, that's a good goal, which leads into another question that's going to be dependent on the person. How much money do I need to retire, and how do I spend my money in retirement?
Well, Bailey, how do you want to retire? That would be the question for it. So if you want to retire and take European vacations like Cole Jaskey, you need a lot more than the person that wants to live in Fort Dodge and have everything paid off and just go to local football games. So it's different for everybody. We're not going to throw out an amount here, because it varies from $500,000 to $50 million based on how you want to live. So how do you spend your retirement? The other half of that question is, how do I spend my retirement savings? We can set you up several different ways. We can set you up with an income stream. We can set it up just as you live off your Social Security and pension payment, and then you use your retirement savings as, when things come up, medical bills, houses, cars, things like that, when you need big expenses. But there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So it seems like we said the same answer to a lot of these. It's depending on your situation.
That's what we're doing. I mean, and that's what, we want our listeners to, or anyone that's looking for some education in this space, is you got to have the conversation to figure what those numbers are. You got to say, because just like Cole said, what he wants to do in retirement looks different from me. So we're probably, our situations are going to look different. And some people have pensions where income comes from. Some people don't. Some people have bigger Social Securities, don't. So it's all, there's a lot of variables in there, and really it comes down to, first defining the expectation of what you want, and then you got to backtrack into the plan of, okay, how do I get there? And that's where a lot of these answers come from.
We sit down with clients and we give you your personal number. We don't have a number for everybody, but I just ran a plan with a gentleman the other day, and his number was basically $5 million. I mean, he wanted $5 million saved up by the time he retired, and that was going to make him feel comfortable. We showed income coming out and how he wanted to spend it. The next person's going to be $1 million. So it varies.
Definitely. Okay, so here's another question, but this one we got a little example, so you'll have a little better answer. How much life insurance should my spouse and I have, and what kind of life insurance? We make $150K a year combined and have 4 kids. I make $115. He makes $35.
Yeah, I'll go with my thought process on this of how I would handle this situation, and I don't know if they have 4 kids, so I assume they're younger individuals too, and have kids in the house. So that always, with that situation, especially you have for one spouse that's making the majority of the income is important, and income replacement. Thinking about that, if something were to happen, replacing my income for not only my spouse but for my 4 kids that are dependent on me. So, general rule of thumb, I always will start with, okay, how old's your youngest kid? Let's get your youngest kid through to an adult, or maybe through college if they, if that's part of the, if they want to help pay for college if one or the other passed away. So you take your income times, say your youngest is 1 year old times 18 years old. So theoretically, if one spouse made $100,000 and they had 18 years, they wanted to replace their income, it's $1.8 million. Sounds like a lot of money, but if something were to happen and you think about that, replacing that income for that years, because now there's only one income for one, if one happens to the spouse, and then along with all the stress of losing a spouse, and trying to raise 4 kids. So I don't want to give an exact number. I mean, but that's the rationale you'd want to go through. And then you start looking, okay, what's your debt look like? You have a mortgage. Do you owe car payments? Do you owe this? And then you start kind of adding onto that number, and all of a sudden it might be, well, for spouse A, we need to replace income for 20 years plus pay off any debt if something happens. Spouse B, income's not as high, so maybe that number's a little smaller for the income replacement plus, whatever debt payoff. So that would be the conversation you'd want to have to kind of back into that number. General rule of thumb. Obviously, some people say, well, I don't need to replace my spouse's income for 20 years or whatever it might be. So you got to have that conversation. But, in all reality, you want to think if that actually happened, right? No one ever thinks, that's the unfortunate part about life insurance. We only want it when, we need it. When you really, really something crazy happens and then you're going through it, and unfortunately we probably all have stories where that happens and they didn't have the life insurance or whatever it might be. And the situation's a lot tougher. It's already tough. Let's not make it tougher. And that's where having that conversation of backing into, well, if this, given a real life example, this happened, how, what do you want to happen?
Right. General rule of thumb, when your spouse is dependent on your income, you want to have between 10 to 20 years of income replacement in life insurance. Now, the other half of this question is what kind of insurance? What we're going to typically do at our office is maybe a combination or maybe all term based on budget.
And age,
budget and age. But so say these people are 35 years old. They got 4 kids in the house. Obviously, their budget's probably already tight. I mean, that's just in general. I know mine is with the 4.
I was going to say,
so we're not going to write you a $1 million permanent policy. It costs you $1,000 a month. It's not going to make sense, obviously. So we're going to mostly go with term coverage at this point. A 30-year term probably to get to you to age 65 when you're approximately going to retire. We would write the majority into term coverage and then maybe go with a combination of, a smaller permanent policy. So you always have that policy. So the difference between term, obviously the term will run out where you won't, you can renew it, but the rates get way too high. The permanent policy, you pay the same premium for the rest of your life and you keep that insurance the rest of your life. So the term just gets you, it's more like a Band-Aid to get you to retirement or get you past where the kids are out of the house or where you need more death benefit, but the permanent coverage is meant forever.
Correct. Because, and then this will be the next question. My husband does not qualify for life insurance. What should I do in that situation where someone's uninsurable for health reasons?
Yeah, what you're going to want to do, because we have this situation come up, you're going to want to check with your group plan at work and try to max your coverage out at work, because if you don't qualify for insurance, why would you not qualify for insurance? Well, you had a cancer a couple years ago. The life insurance companies are usually going to want to see between 5 to 10 years after you had cancer that it didn't reoccur. Or maybe it did reoccur, and then you're basically uninsurable for at least 10 to 15 years. So there's lots of different reasons people don't qualify for life insurance. But if you don't, you always qualify for a group plan. Mm-hmm. So a group plan is designed to get the people that can't get life insurance outside of the group plan. So I have people, and I say, go to your HR, get to your life insurance handbook, whatever you get from work, bring it into me. We're going to max out as much insurance as you can get at work.
It's relatively inexpensive generally too through the group plan, because your employer has set up some type of, obviously set up that group plan and allows for there to be affordability to buy up additional coverage. And generally it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was actually listening to a podcast this morning, and I think they said the statistics of people having life insurance coverage is going down. Like more and more people aren't covering themselves with life insurance. And I just think me and Luke, my husband, had the conversation, and I'm sure you guys are in the same situation. I couldn't imagine, something happening and then thinking, gosh, if we would have just had that life insurance. It's a heavy conversation, kind of like Will's, but like, man, it's already such a burden to go through that. And then if you don't have the expenses and the financial burden that would come after, not replacing that income. So it's something super important, I think, for people to think about.
I agree. I don't want to be in that position ever where I have a friend or someone with anyone, but anyone or a client that I currently have, and I didn't mention, hey, what's your life insurance situation look like? And then something happened and I dropped the ball on that. That's something that would eat at me pretty bad, I know. So I know I've made sure, it's not always a fun conversation. People don't want to talk about it, but it's something that is very important. And unfortunately, we all have real life examples of where something bad has happened.
Yeah. Yep. Never think it's going to be you, but being prepared. So that was a little heavy question. So we'll take a little break, get a little more fun questions after this. So thanks, guys.
Good job.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital.
Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market.
Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.
That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026 or visit our website www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.
Welcome back. You guys don't know this as well as I know this, but the boys in the office are obsessed with golf. Just obsessed.
The word obsessed is a little...
No, it's not.
It's accurate. It's so accurate. Like, they'll come in the morning and be like, did you see me on hole 7? I chipped this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, well, good morning.
I'm with these guys 2 hours a month, and I can tell you they're obsessed with golf.
Yeah. I don't know why they're looking at me like I'm lying.
You will have, I don't know, this is a random thing, but we'll be having like conversation. All of a sudden there's like a practice golf swing that comes out. Like, I will do that all the time. I'll do it at home. My wife is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just, it's like a thing I do.
Cole Jessica will be like, hey, can you help me with, and then he's in mid swing. I'm like looking at him like,
Bailey's doing the motion here. Like we are on YouTube, but it's for our listeners. She's
podcast. They can't see you.
But on that, I think Cole P has some big golf news.
Well, not huge golf news, but I was glad to see Will Zalatoris win. I mean, he's been second place in like 3 majors. He's been second place in like 5 tournaments, and he's such a good dude. Everyone on tour loves him, and I love him. Yep. I think he's awesome. He's just like probably 150-pound, 5'10" guy. I mean, he looks like you could push him over.
He's gotten second a million times too, and runner-up in majors. So you feel good for a guy that gets a win. So
yeah.
I feel like in any individual sport, when a guy who gets second that many times finally wins, everybody's happy,
definitely.
even the guys who don't like him.
Yep.
It happened to Mickelson there for a long time. Remember when he used to get second in like all the majors and never could win one? And this wasn't a major that Zalatoris won, but I was just glad to see him get a W under his belt. Everyone was happy.
We didn't talk about this, but on the golf talk, we've the member guests, the local Fort Dodge Country Club member guests this weekend. So we're gonna have a little, we'll have an update for the next podcast on how the office, all the boys will be,
Do you remember who won last year?
Did you win?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Me and my partner.
God, I wouldn't have brought that up. I didn't even know that. So
Do you guys listen to how giddy they get when they talk about golf?
Is this on Saturday?
Saturday
and
and
Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Molly was like, what time do you guys play? And I'm like, basically, you're not going to see me all weekend.
I'll see you on Sunday night.
Yeah. So who's gonna win?
I don't know. It's
Who's your partner?
It's I got a buddy from Des Moines, Brady Hay, but
Brady Hay.
it's a handicap type deal, partner. So there's a lot of variables. That's what makes how you do it. It's anyone can really win.
Right.
It's not like the
Right.
best.
Highest handicap guys can win.
So it's a fun
Doesn't
format.
So when you say
See
You could win, Bailey.
what's the format? I'm
an
curious
athlete.
now.
You wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
But it's two-man best ball, which you play your own ball with handicap.
Okay, gotcha.
This is what I do. Like, if Eddie wins, I'll go to Cole J and be like, so, Cole J, how was golf this weekend? And then if Cole J wins, I'll go to Eddie, and vice versa with Cole P. I just love getting under their skin.
Yeah.
But
She knows it bothers us.
yeah. We're all competitive, which is a good thing. We'll compete for you. So here we go. Let's get back to the questions. Another one. When should I start taking my Social Security? It's a pretty blanket statement, so I'll add what are the pros and cons of waiting, situation, stuff like that.
So the ages range from 62 to 70. There's no you cannot take it before 62 unless you're a widow. We won't go there, but just your own personal Social Security. 62 is the earliest you can elect it. 70 is the latest that you can elect it. There's no reason to wait past age 70. So why you would take it at 62? If you retire, maybe your life expectancy isn't very good because you do get a significant reduction, to about 25% reduction in what your normal retirement benefit would be. So if your normal retirement benefit was going to be $2,000, you would actually receive $1,500, and that reduction is for the rest of your life. Most people are going to wait until at least when they retire because there's an earnings test if you take it before that. Or you're going to have what I like to do with my clients is have one of them wait till 70 and then one of them take it when they retire, because when one of you passes away, the higher one stays, the other one will drop off.
Hey, you mentioned something there. Just touch on the earnings
That's
test
what I
a
was
little
gonna
bit,
say.
because that is something I think people
Yes.
misunderstand sometimes. They kind of like, well, I've paid into Social Security all my life. I want to get the
Yes.
most, so I'm going to take it at 62 even if I'm still working. Just touch briefly, don't go too in detail, but because you went over that quick, and I think
Right.
that's a valid topic that
I agree.
it comes up.
Yeah, so I've heard that scenario a lot from people that are like, well, I'm taking Social Security at 62. I'm like, well, you're still going to be working? Yeah, I will still be working. Well, you're going to be making, your normal wage of $50,000. So the earnings test, this is in a quick scenario how it works is they take whatever you make minus, let's just use 20,000 as it because it's like 19,880. So they take 50,000, say you're making 50,000 minus the $20,000 that you're allowed to make. So the $30,000 difference, they would take $1 out of your Social Security for every $2 that you make over that. So 30,000 divided by 2, 15,000. So if your Social Security is 15,000, they're going to actually take your whole Social Security and you're not going to get any pay. So there's no reason to take it.
Correct.
And they're not going to take it forever. What they're going to do is they take that and they put it back into your Social Security when you actually turn normal retirement age, and then they increase it. So you do get it back, but it's pointless to take it early if you're going to continue to work and make above the earnings test.
And he says by normal retirement age, you'll see if you look on your Social Security statement for people that get them or found them online, it's your full retirement age, and that's based on when you were born and stuff. So it is a little bit different, for everyone, but relative in that 65, 66, 67. So that once you hit that age, then what Cole's talking about, the rules don't really apply. Even if you keep working into 70, that at that point the full retirement age.
If you have not elected Social Security, most likely your Social Security retirement date is 67.
Yep.
There are some that are a little bit, it's like 66 and 8 months, 66.
Yeah, now that people are age,
Yeah.
and I forget
But yeah,
about
we're
that. So,
past the 66.
Yep,
So
we are.
most people that are going to listen to this show, if you have not taken your Social Security, your normal retirement age is 67. So plan on at least working to 65 where you are eligible for Medicare. 67 would be your full retirement age. You do not have to wait until 67 to take Social Security as long as you're not working.
Right. And there is an emotional piece to it too, because you do have some people that come in, they're like, I'm taking it no matter what, because, you know, my dad passed away and he never got his or vice versa. So I think it's really good to have you guys or us sit alongside and be like, look at the longevity options. Like there's so many things to it. But a little plug, we do have seminars and we educate clients. We actually have Social Security seminar coming up October 6th.
All right, October 6th.
So what we do is we invite clients and prospects, and you guys can just come learn. And we have Ernie, actually, is a wholesaler, coming to educate you guys. So it's always a great event. You get to food, but you learn so much. I mean, we learn stuff because it
changes all the time.
Yeah.
Too. So
it's quite in depth.
It's great to if you haven't taken Social Security, it's awesome to show up and at least learn a little bit about what your options are.
Yep.
And then you can feel a little bit more educated, and like Bailey said, we learn something new every time that we have the seminar, and it's out at the Starlight, October 6th. I think we start at 6:00, so we'll have more information in the coming months.
We also have I'm kind of a nerd with the numbers here, but it's fun.
You guys are nerds. I didn't know that.
It's you can if you knew when you were going to die, obviously we could tell you statistically exactly, hey, here's how you should do it for sure. If you knew you're going to die at 82, here's what age you should take it, because we can maximize the numbers. So that's one thing our financial planning software, when we're doing financial plans, we can run those numbers and you say, well, my parents both lived to 88, 80, late 80s. That's kind of where I'm looking. Okay, here's statistically what you should do, if you want to, make a decision that way of just what the numbers say. Yep. But a lot of it, there's the emotional side that comes along with it as well.
Yeah, so I just think it's important to use an advisor to think about it financially, not just emotionally, but I get it. So, good question. Whoever answered that. Okay, next one. I'm getting divorced. Ooh, heavy topic. What should be my next steps with my financial accounts?
Did you tell Luke yet?
He would be like, there's always one person in every relationship, but I said to Luke, if I die, there's a folder. Everything we have is in there. Everything's lined out, all the passwords. I have a thing saying like what to do with the life insurance money.
You tell him to just come see me.
No. I got him. Geez. I got him under control. I'm a little type A, which they're making fun of me. They're just as type A.
We went from divorce to dead. That was dramatic.
Oh, yeah. We're just talking about divorce.
I did.
Okay, so Bailey and Luke are getting divorced?
Never.
No, I know.
Never.
Yeah, that did switch.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't either. I was thinking about life insurance, because I was thinking about our life insurance folder. I have what to do with the life insurance money.
Okay.
Anyway,
bring it back in.
Back to where we were.
You're getting divorced, Bailey.
Okay.
What should you do with your financial accounts?
Yes.
Well, the most common thing that I see people do that is the wrong thing to do is start taking money out or moving things. You should not do that. Attorneys, judges, they do not like that. So do not start cashing out accounts and taking money out and trying to hide it. That's a bad thing. As far as your financial accounts, really, while you're going through a divorce, there's not much you can do. You should continue to contribute. You should continue, because it's all going to go based on the assets that were when you guys got married to when you got filed for divorce. So you don't have to worry about when after you file for divorce or your spouse files for divorce. What you contribute after that, because that will be calculated into everything. So really the answer is nothing. You shouldn't do anything.
Make sure you get your professional. That's what we're always going to rely on your professionals there to give you your attorney to say, hey, what should I do? Here's the accounts I have. A lot of times we sit in the shoes where we get asked legal, tax questions, and first and foremost, hire a good professional that you trust to give you advice, and start there. And that's generally how we're going to start that conversation.
I think what you and we could help with is what's life look like after the divorce.
Agreed.
On one income. I think people forget that all of a sudden I'm living a completely different lifestyle, because now we're not living on either two incomes, we're down to one. So that's something we could help with. So this has been fun. This has been good. I'm happy to be back, but I got a big question, the last question. And this is a little more personal for you. What is the best money advice you have ever been given that you hope to pass on to clients?
You got an answer? All right, I got my answer.
I'll think for a second.
Okay.
There's a lot of thoughts that go through the brain there.
Yeah, the best money advice I got, and I don't know if I followed it quite to a T, but save early. And I wish I would listen to I think we all wish we would have listened to our parents now that we're a little bit older. But my parents when I was growing up, I was trying to put some in save. You get $20, put 10 in savings. Use 10 for spending money. That was kind of their deal. Like try to put half of what you get paid into savings. Didn't quite do that, but invest early. Because time is on your side, you're going to make so much more money with your investments over time if you invest early. So that would be my number one thing.
That thought definitely came to my brain, and that's one thing I always wish I would have did more early. I think I started early, but I'm like, I could have did more. It was just like I wanted to play and have fun. I'll do this much, but I have one maybe that's I think of a little bit more on the business end, but I do treat my individual finances as a business. I run it. That's how you should treat it. It's your own little individual business that you're running, and one thing I think is really important and invite someone given me is educate yourself, and then if it's something maybe you just don't understand, find someone that is successful in that arena or does understand, and reach out to them. So many people want to be love to share, especially successful people. Yep. They love sharing their stories and helping people. I mean, that's part I think what drives a lot of successful people is seeing other people succeed. And
absolutely,
that's one thing that has helped me more in the business world, I would say, but is relative to finance, any part of your life. Find someone that is, if you have someone that's successful in a field that you're fascinated with, reach out and ask questions, ask right. what can I do to do that or to replicate what you've done.
Take them to lunch. Yeah. I mean, that'd be the best $25 you ever spend if you get some good advice.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just the education piece too, I think. Like, I think a lot of people wait to educate themselves on money, and then they come in older and they're like, I wish I would have started earlier, invested earlier, and I don't know what any of this is. I think the best advice I would give someone, it's okay not to know, but don't wait to educate yourself. Yep. You know what I mean? Don't wait to start just because you're a little scared, intimidated by that financial world. Like if you're 30 years old and you're like, I don't even know what 401k Roth, who cares? Just educate yourself. And I know Cole does a good job for his clients, like trying to educate his younger clients with the book. So
one other thing on that advice is don't be nervous to meet with a financial advisor. We hear that a lot from people that come in. They're like, oh, I'm so nervous to come meet with you. And I'm just like, well, okay. Like I understand it's new and it's something different. Maybe you've never done before, but it's not. We're not going to yell at you for what you've been doing. We're going to just educate you and try to help you. And we do hear this from people, like they say that we're so nervous when they can't, we're going to come in. And then when they leave, they say, I feel so much better. So don't wait to meet with somebody just because you don't know what you're talking about, because that's why we're the professionals and we can help you.
Definitely. That's great advice. So that question will wrap it up. Thank you for all your wisdom. Thanks for answering all the questions. Special guest on the next podcast episode, we got Craig Gerard, Brown Shoe Fit business owner. So it'll be business owner, entrepreneur type conversation. So that'll be great for you guys.
That's a word I can't say. Entrepreneur. I
was just nervous.
Entrepreneurial.
Hey, and don't forget to like us on all the social media
platforms. Yep. Kole and Cole on Facebook, CFG's on Facebook, find us on YouTube.
And comment below who's going to do better in this weekend's golf tournament.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll make my prediction to end this. I'm feeling Cole P. I got you, bud. I think you're coming in strong this weekend.
Well, we did win last year. That's not a bold prediction, by the way. But
I feel like you've been losing a lot this year.
I'll take Cole J just for the fun of it.
I appreciate it. All right, better wrap it up. Take care, everyone.
Guys. Yep. All right, thanks all. Have a great day.
Go Cubs.
You've been listening to How to Money with Kole and Cole, the podcast of Essential Financial Group, courtesy of Spin Market. Learn more about the Central Financial Group on their website, www.centralfinancialgroup.com.
For now, I'm Cole.
And I'm Cole.
And we'll see you on the greens.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated. Material discussed is meant for general informational purposes only, and it is not to be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Diversification does not insure against loss. Any guarantees discussed refer only to fixed insurance products and are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.